Okay, family, this is Deborah Yah with Black Education TV. I'm going to be talking about the girl trip trap. You know, there's this new movie coming out in which someone shared it with me, and so I told them that I may expound on it. I looked at the trailer, in which to me the trailer was very difficult to look at, only because it's not that I haven't seen these things before. It's only because I'm trying to, I don't like to see my people in this way. I don't like to see us in such a wayward way to where it seems like there is no hope for us mentally. Any of you who have seen the trailer to Girls Trip, you know, you have Queen Latifa, you have Jada Pinkett, and you have, you know, others as well in this movie that are once again casting a dark shadow on what it is to be a black woman, reinforcing every stereotype about us. Now, what I find interesting, and I'm going to say this real quick. I'm going to say this real quick before I get too deep into this. I don't know how long I'm going to be talking about this. But anyway, I'm going to give a disclaimer for parents. I don't know what I'm going to say in this particular video. So please, if you have any young children, this may not be for them to hear. This may not be for their ears. But if you feel that your children can handle the truth, so be it. Okay? So be it. Again, the Girls Trip film, I believe, is another trap, another stumbling block, another ensnarement for our people, our women especially, because the promotion of wickedness is all throughout this movie. It comes out in July of this year, I believe, but the trailer speaks loud and clear of the content. Okay? I found it very interesting that one of the statements made by one of the daughters of Zion, one of the wayward daughters of Zion, was that she is going to get white girl wasted. White girl wasted. That was one of the statements made. She said, I'm about to get white girl wasted. So basically, what she is saying is, I'm going to go out here and lose my cotton picking mind. And I'm going to do something so wicked and so dastardly that I'm going to be learning and emulating white girls. Now, let me make a clarification here. This is just something that was said in the movie, white girl wasted. I'm not saying that every white girl does this, okay? Or is all about this kind of lifestyle. That was the statement made in the movie. And anyone who is being realistic knows what the statement is saying and what it's talking about. Okay? Let's be real here. Anyone who's too sensitive on these issues don't need to look at this video, because there's a lot of hypocrisy in all of the races. Okay? In all of the races. White, black, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of hypocrisy, especially among blacks and whites, because there's this battle that we've had going on for as long as I can remember. And, you know, folk want to pretend like they don't know what the hell is being talked about when you say certain things. Okay? And we need to get past that stuff. You know, I'm talking right now, I'm talking to the Israelites, because I'm not trying to instruct any other race or culture on what they need to do, because they need to seek that out for themselves. Okay? But for the Israelites, we need to stop pretending like we don't know what's going on. Okay? Anyway, this movie is so filthy. It's just downright disgusting to see this much money being poured into further damaging the thoughts of our people. Now, when you have movies and celebrities, now these celebrities, they go home to lush mansions. Not saying that their marriages are good. Most of them are not. Most of them are whack. Queen Latifa is a lesbian. Jada Pinkett, she has a lot of issues. Okay, it's said that her and her husband, they practice certain things within their marriage, in which I'm not going to be talking about all of that right now. I'm talking about this filthy movie that they use celebrity faces to promote to the black community. Now, you're going to have a lot of so-called black women now planning girl trips. Now, in this movie, they're going to be promoting all kinds of debauchery and lasciviousness and filth of the flesh. Sexual misconduct. How many groups of black women are going to get together and take a girl's trip and live dangerously like they are doing in this filthy movie? How many are going to do that? And it wasn't by mistake that they chose Queen Latifa. It wasn't by mistake that they chose Jada Pinkett, because people know that these are celebrities that do represent some of the very debauchery that we are coming against, that I am coming against. They represent some of that. Anytime you sit up in your marriage and you say, look, I'm okay with my spouse sleeping with somebody else, and I'm going to do the same. And anytime you're a woman like Queen Latifa, who has your girl chick, and that's your bed buddy too, you are a person who has no morals. You are a godless person. Now, when you promote this kind of stuff with faces that our people have grown to love and respect. Notice I said respect, because we respect wickedness. That's how our people have become. Judah, for those of you who don't know, the children of Judah, men and women, are the prodigal children. That story about the prodigal son is talking about us. It's talking about the children that come from Judah. Judah's been scattered all over the world. That is talking about us. Now, when you have a woman who goes on a trip and she's trying to get every sexual encounter she can with whomever. Now, I noticed one of the scenes in the trailer, one of the chicks jumped on a bike with a white guy, and she was gyrating those hips around as she was sitting up on this man. Now, that's so many different things being promoted. You're basically saying, look, I don't care who this man is, where his body parts have been. I'm going to gyrate on him. And if he wants to take me back somewhere later on and gyrate on me, I'm going to let him. This is what this girl's trip is all about. Let me tell you something that an elder said many years ago. They're no longer with us, but this is something that one of our elders said many years ago. And it's a very true statement. Very true statement. This very wise woman said this. She said, a stiff penis has no conscience. You understand what I'm saying? Of course, she didn't say penis. She said something else. In other words, she was saying, it's not going to care what the woman is all about. It's not going to care who the woman is. It's not going to care if it's married, divorced. It didn't care. And in some cases, especially in today's time, it don't care if it's a man or a woman. And I'm going to take it a step further. Some of them don't even care if it's a human or an animal. That's what she meant when she said a stiff penis don't have a conscience. But what this Girls Trip movie is promoting is also saying that a hot, doggish woman don't have a conscience either. That was very well displayed in the very small few minutes of the trailer. It's saying, look, if you're a woman and you hot in the pants, you don't have to have a conscience. Just go out and do whatever your heart's desire. It's promoting such wickedness to where we don't understand why the hammer of Yah keeps coming down on our behinds. As a people, we get so caught up in this mess that he's going to continue to allow the hammer of the enemy to come down on us. His hammer is going to continue to come down on us because we are not going in the direction of righteousness. We continue to go in the direction of wickedness. There used to be a day and time to where a black woman wouldn't be seen doing some of the trashy stuff that you see in these movies. You wouldn't even hear of such things. But like the chick said in the trailer, I'm going to get white girl wasted. The scripture told us to learn not the ways of the heathen. But now we're using them as our rule book of how we should be. We're saying, look, I'm going to learn their ways. I'm going to study their ways. I'm going to copy their ways. I'm going to emulate them. I'm going to conform to them. Now, the scripture says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. For he that loveth the world, the love of the Father is not in him. He also said, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. What have we chosen to do? You see that smoke, family, coming up out of those trees? I don't know what that means, but nonetheless, there it is. There it is. Scripture says, be not conformed. But we, as the children of Judah, men and women, are conforming to this wicked world. We are studying their ways. We are saying we're going to get white girl wasted. You know what that means. That means you're going to let it all hang out. You're going to pull out all of the stops and break all of the rules. You're going to be as a reprobate. You're going to do what a reprobate would do. You're going to do what a scoundrel would do. That is exactly what this Girls Trip movie is all about. And watch them pack out the box office. Yah willing, if this earth is still standing by that time in the way that it is, of course we know it'll still be standing, but you all know what I mean. If there's still enough order by the time that film comes out, let's just see how many people pack out to go see Girls Trip. They are pulling on every audience, young and old, black and white. Because don't think for 1 minute that white girls aren't going to go see Girls Trip. They're pulling out all the stops on this one. This is one of those films that they are going to lure everyone into seeing. They're using middle-aged black women. This is what I mean. These are not old women, but they are middle-aged black women. They're old enough to where you will have older women going to see it too. Middle-aged women, young women. And guess what? For parents that are foolish and ignorant, they're going to let their little girls go and see it too, because it says Girls Trip. Which brings me to this point. They didn't call it Ladies Trip or Women's Trip. They call it Girls Trip because these women are not behaving as mature women. They are not behaving as mature women. They're acting like girls, unlearned, simple-minded, who are saying, I'm going out here and I'm going to spread them for whoever I run across. Because I was going to say the stiffness only applies to men. When this wise woman said a stiff penis don't have a conscience, that's talking about men, and you all know what I'm talking about. But a hot woman, or a hot, doggish woman, should I say, don't have a conscience either. And this is why they are promoting this sin and debauchery. In this last day, that's the last thing our women need to see. That's the last thing our young girls need to see. But all of this promotion, this is Hashatan's last-ditch effort to demoralize the children of Israel more and more. We already have so many issues within the black community. But the promotion of just spreading them for whoever has a stiff one is just pure wickedness. Pure wickedness. I would advise you mothers who may contemplate letting your daughters view this, don't do it. Stop it. And don't you see it either. You don't need to see it either. You do not need to go see that filth. You do not need to put that in your head or in your imagination, especially since the so-called black community is plagued with a lot of single-parent households. Black women are at an all-time high with being pushed away by the black man. So the last thing you need is a thought implanted in your mind to say, look, I'm hot, so I'm going to go find me a man tonight. I don't care who he is as long as he has a stiff one. That's the last thing you need to be planted in your mind. It kind of reminds me of years ago when I was in the Christian church. I was a kid at the time, teenager. But I remember hearing one of the older women in the church make this statement. And it just kind of, it really bothered me on so many levels. Because this was someone that most of us would say, well, this sister, she has her stuff together. She is a righteous woman. She is, one of the good ones. Now, I understand that you may get lonely or whatever, but take that to Yah. Don't let certain things come out of your mouth because you don't know who's listening. And at that time, it was me and some other young women listening to this grown woman utter these words. But here were her words. She says, "The next man who walks through my door, I don't care who it is, I'm getting me some." Now, this was a so-called righteous woman. She said, "I'm going to jump on him and I'm going to get me some." In other words, she's going to rape him. She's going to get her some. She said, "I don't care if it's the mailman. I don't care if it's the furnace man." I mean, these were the words coming out of this woman's mouth. You just spilled out of your mouth such filth in front of young people, young impressionable people, young teenage girls, that you can get that hot in your behind that you will jump on the first thing coming through your door. Listen at that. That is what the daughters of Zion have been reduced to. Now, this was I would say 30 years ago. You see, this was some 30 years ago. Now, imagine how out of hand things have gotten since then. You have films that are promoting that very thing. Can you imagine the number of women who put that type of voice out into the air, saying that they're going to jump on any stiff one that comes through the door? Or you're going to jump on it and make it stiff? Abba Yah, help us. Our people need help. We are letting our minds and thoughts be shaped by wicked people. These people who own and run Hollywood, they know exactly what they're doing. They're using their weird magic. They're using their magic tricks on you. This is why we need to steer clear of their media, their meditation media. You're meditating on their filth. They are forming your mind into their likeness. You are becoming a so-called black person in the image of those who do not represent righteousness. They put all of this stuff in the movies because they know that it's going to shape the thoughts and minds and intents of the heart. And so they come out with just what they need to push whatever agenda it is that they need to push. Now, I don't know all of the content of this film that's coming out, but I can assure you that it's enough filth in that film to create a lot of babies born out of wedlock from men you will probably never see again. It's going to create a lot of diseases, a lot of loneliness, a lot more confusion. Because our people are not fed up enough with being programmed and used and controlled by wicked forces. Not fed up enough. Instead of being fed up, you're feeding into it. You're participating in your own demise. And then you look around and you act so confused. Why is my life going this way? And you never want to sit back and analyze what the hell it was you did to get you to this place. Never. And you want to make excuse after excuse. I'm going to say to the daughters of Zion, if you are not a married woman, close your legs. Don't go out here on no girl's trip riding around on some man's penis that don't belong to you. I don't care if he's black or white, because they show elements of both. Being drawn into lust, being led and guided by lust. That's not a girl's trip. That is a lust trip. And I would venture to say, even using the term girl is not fair. Because a girl in the real sense of the word is a child who wouldn't do such filthy things. And a real woman wouldn't do such filthy things. Only a person who is like a dog in heat would go out doing those kind of things, spreading your legs to any, you know what, any stiff penis. Only a dog in heat. Now you know what a female dog is. Only one of those will go out doing those things and getting white girl wasted. We better get a grip, family. All of this filthy mess going on amongst the house of Israel has got to stop. Because judgment is going to continue to fall down on you, on us as a people, until we get it together. You have to get it together. Things will not fall in place if you don't get it together. You go out trying to live this fast life, that fast life is going to catch up with you fast. The joys of sin only last a season. Is that season worth a while? Do you think it's worth a while to go lay up with some nasty man that you've never met before? Who may have just got through laying with some man or some other woman days before or hours before he got with you? This promotion of filth has got to be seen for what it is. It is pure evil. And it's time for us to flee this type of wickedness and stop making excuses talking about a girl got to have some fun sometime. Go get yourself in a cold shower and cool yourself down. Because guess what? Yah's rod will also come down and spank the hell out of you. His judgment, his rod of correction will come down and spank the hell out of you in so many ways to where you will be running to the altar, falling on your knees. But we don't have to get to that point, family. We don't have to get to that point where the hammer comes down so hard to where we don't think we'll ever recover from the judgment or the chastisement. But we've got to keep in mind that many times we bring ourselves to these places. The joys of sin only last a season. That girl's trip will be over in a week's time. You go on that trip, you have your little fun, but when it's all said and done, what are you going to have to deal with afterward? What type of emotional baggage have you attached to yourself? What type of spiritual battle will you enter into for going out getting with some man who you have no idea where he's been or what he's about? What kind of spirits are attached to him? What kind of spirits are you inviting into your own life? It's not as simple as just getting laid and walking away. It's not that simple anymore, family. You're going to take something away with you. Probably more than what you bargained for. It's starting to rain out here, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I could probably go on a very long time with this one, but I'm going to head on back now. I'm going to get my staff and I'm going to walk back in the direction of shelter. It's kind of cold out here, so I don't want to get too wet. I just wanted to come out here and say this to you, family. Don't fall for the girls' trip trap. I know a lot of you who listen to me wouldn't fall for that kind of thing. I'm just, in general, speaking to my sisters, to the daughters of Zion, because this is who this is aimed at. And anyone that you know who may not be in the truth, you can share this video with them. Because I'm pretty sure many of us have them in our family, young people, young women in our family who are not in the truth, not interested in the truth, but they need to hear the truth. Okay? It don't always have to be about a Bible study. Sometimes you can start as simple cares of this life issues, things such as this, to cause our people to think, to pause and understand that there's more to it than just having a good time. Okay? Don't learn the ways of the heathen. Don't feel like you have to do what Becky does in order to get what Becky does. Sometimes what Becky has is not worth it. It's not worth its weight in gold. Please, family, take heed to this. All of these movies are designed to just pull you further and further away from the Most High Yah. Keep that in mind. Understand that. Don't take the girl's trip. Take a woman's trip to the altar. Consecrate your mind. Dedicate your soul. Secure your life. And with that, sisters, I'm going to say I love you. Be encouraged. Think about what you do and allow shalom to come into your life.